Hey everyone, just thought I'd do a quick little video on how I do my automatic water changes into my marine fish tank. So what I've got is I fill up my IBC. This one's usually sitting on top of my trailer with the hose connected into it. So the hose comes around and comes into that bottom pipe down there. Now the way that it works is when I've got it on the trailer and it connects into there, it'll come through the bottom pipe, up through the pump. This pump has a pressure sensor on it, so it detects whether or not if it's got pressure or no pressure on the outtake of it. So if there's no pressure on the outtake, then it'll turn on the pump and it'll start pumping. So as I was saying, it comes in through the bottom, up through this pipe here, down through this one, and then fills up my storage IBC. Storage IBC, at the moment I've just got the cap loose on it so that it doesn't compress and suck the whole thing in or cause it to blow out, which I've had that happen on one of the other IBCs. At the moment, with the configuration that I've got these taps, it's so that it actually fills up my fish tank from my storage IBC. So the way that that would work is that valve there is open, comes through here, through that one, into here, detects whether or not it's got pressure behind it or not, comes along through and then down into the ground. So in the ground, that pipe, it runs through under my pavers, runs underneath the slab, and then comes up through one of these pipes in the wall. Now these two pipes that come through the wall, one of them is actually my drain, which comes out and goes down the drain that's over there, and the other one goes into my system. So we'll go into see the fish tank system at the moment. So this is the tank. What I've got, so here's the two pipes that are coming through the wall, and they come into here. Just open up this other door. So this top pipe here, there's my incoming, that one. So it can come into the tank in two ways. It can either come along here straight through this one-way valve and directly into this one here. Now that there is one of my two return pumps in through the UV sterilizer and out up into the display. The other way that it goes is it comes across, goes into this T through the union, and a little bit hard to see with the light, but I've got a solenoid valve there. Now that solenoid valve is connected up into this overflow high level float switch. So once the water level gets up to a bit higher than what it is, then it'll actually shut off that valve so that no water can actually flow. That pipe continues all the way down through down to the same chamber that my pumps are in. Let's turn on this light. Okay, and then comes on down through that one there. So that's it coming up the back wall there, and then across, down, and into that same chamber. Okay. The reason why I've got the end of the pipe under the water is to stop any bubbles from coming through into the tank. This sump will then fill up, and it will fill up to about here, which is when that overflow switch I showed you before will detect. When it's up to that point, then it will stop and my drain system will then engage. Now the thing that I'm actually using for turning everything on and off is the Arlic Grid Connect. So the first stage of it filling up is it will actually turn off my skimmer. So skimmer will turn off, it'll start filling up until that overflow switch clicks. I've also got it set on a timer, so after 2 minutes then the timer will turn off that pump. 10 seconds later it'll start turning on my drain. Now my drain is the submersible pump that's at the bottom of this. This pipe is what I'm using to set my height primarily, and so we'll run through that. I've got a little hole drilled in the side of this pipe here so that it can I can allow air into here so it's not constantly causing a suction, so it's kind of like a backup sort of thing. And I've got this electrical float switch over here as well that's connected up to the submersible pump. So once that float switch, once the level comes down low enough, then it'll then cut the power to the submersible pump. And that'll take about 5 minutes or so for it to do that. Water will then go up through that pipe and come on down through where this valve here is, and then run on out into that drain that I showed you earlier. By using these smart socket connects with the energy meter, that's about what I'm using for the whole system. After it's finished draining it out, then it will then turn the skimmer back on after it's complete. So doing that will give me about a 90 litre water change based on the volume that I've got running through the sump there. And that's about it.